Hi guys, it's Lottie here from Mr. B's. We are here with a double-decker of Mr. B's Booksellers Dozens because we are very sorry, but June, with a lot of crossovers, did not happen. So I'm here to bring you 5 of our favourite books, both from June and July. I'm being very selfish and I'm going to kick off with the book that I'm reading at the moment and I'm completely loving. It is called The Whalebone Theatre and it's by Joanna Quinn. I absolutely love this book. It is beautiful, it's quirky, it's very textured. It's all set on the Dorset coastline. It starts in the 1920s and it goes all the way through to the Second World War. The book follows a kind of jigsaw puzzle family who all live on this big country estate, and you watch them as they come of age and experience the tumultuous 20th century together. The next book is called Nevada and it is by Imogen Binnie. This is a completely different book. It is a kind of cult classic, was published in Brooklyn as a real kind of cornerstone piece of queer fiction, and has finally been published in the UK. This is a story of a trans woman called Maria who is essentially having a really bad week. She's just broken up with her girlfriend, she's been fired from her job, not without cause, and has decided that to kind of get herself out of this depressive cycle, she is going to take an all-American road trip from New York to Nevada. The fascinating bit about this book is seeing through the eyes of Maria. She is both challenging and amusing and perhaps reveals something about ourselves that we might not always want to confront. It's great fun, it's truly insightful, a little bit gritty, absolutely brilliant. On to a little bit of non-fiction now, and it's one that has been hitting all of the bookshops and making a real splash. It's called Free and it's by Leah Epe. Leah's tale is one of those ones that's incredibly universal but also truly unique to where she grew up. She grew up in Albania in the 1980s and 1990s and experienced the collapse of the communist regime in 1990 pretty much overnight. Whilst she tells us the story of this experience, she also gives us an insight into her own coming-of-age story. From first loves to heartbreaks and friendships and family feuds, this is one of those stories that makes you realise that we really aren't all that different. Another recent shop favourite is Red Sauce Brown Sauce and it's by Felicity Cloak. Felicity Cloak is an amazing food writer. She writes the Perfect series for The Guardian as well as a number of other food articles, and she has recently written a fantastic travelogue of her own experience going through France on a bicycle, sampling the best there is of croissants. This one is slightly different. This is our British edition, so it is of course focusing on the Great British Fry-Up, and Felicity travels around the UK tasting all there is to be included in the Great British Fry-Up and meeting some incredible people along the way. This one's really great fun, packed with loads of recipes. If you're a fan of a good British breakfast or you love taking in the country on 2 wheels, this is the perfect book for you. Last but not least, this is a little bit of children's fiction. This is called My Friend the Octopus and it's by Lindsay Galvin. Set in 1893 in Brighton, this book follows a young girl called Vinnie who is working in a tea shop in Brighton Aquarium. Her life completely changes when a giant octopus arrives at the aquarium and she realises that she has a particular skill to communicate with this beautiful beast. Big mystery unfolds which completely changes Vinnie's life forever. That was June, now on to July. The first book that I want to talk about is one that my colleagues Tom and Emma have not stopped yakking on about since they both read it. It's called Chorus and it's by Rebecca Kaufman. This is the story of Marie Shaw and her 7 children who all are growing up in rural Virginia. The narrative starts at the end of Marie's life, but we get this amazing scope of epic narrative which starts with the Great Depression in America but goes all the way up to just on the cusp of the 1960s. This is an incredible story, beautifully descriptive, and is perfect for fans of Kent Haruf and Elizabeth Strauss Olive Kittredge. Next up is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabriella Zevin. This is an incredibly contemporary story. This book kicks off with Sadie and Sam, who bump into each other in a gaming room in a hospital in 1987. They instantly have this fast friendship when they realise that they both find a bit of escapism and joy in gaming. Skip forward a number of years and we see the two of them who've gone very different ways in life but still have this rooting in the gaming world. This book looks at our relationship with video games and the digital world and how people can find love and a real escapism in the beauty of these other worlds we create. On to a bit of non-fiction with a book called Stalking the Atomic City by Marky Ann Kanish. Kamish has been visiting the exclusion zone of Chernobyl since 2010 under deeply illegal circumstances, and this book looks at his journeys and the journeys of other community members called stalkers who do the same thing. It is an incredible descriptive piece of the wild wasteland that he visits, but also the story of the culture around this space and the community within it. And for a tasty slice of historical feminism, the next book is called Femina, and it is by Janina Ramirez. Ramirez is a BBC historian, and you can tell that she is someone who is committed to making history accessible and entertaining with this book. It is the story of the women who were written out of the Middle Ages, and we do see that they had some incredible positions in life. This is not a class of people who were denied things necessarily, but history has ignored them, has written them away, and we get to see their stories uncovered in this fantastic book. And finally, a bit of children's literature just here, and this is another middle grade book. It is called The Day No One Woke Up, and it's by Polly Ho Yen. It's the story of a young girl called Anna who wakes up one day to realise that everyone in her small town is still asleep. She soon discovers that the only person who is also awake is her ex-best friend Tio, and together they team up to work out what on earth is going on. This is a little bit of a thriller. It's a zombie mystery novel, which is perfect for fans of Stranger Things. Thanks so much for watching, guys. That was a double whammy 2 months of Bookseller's Dozen goodness. As always, we've got the links just down below to take you to the full previews of the Bookseller's Dozens, and you get the other 19 books for each of those months. Do always pop in and chat to us about books, drop us emails, give us a call. As always, thanks for watching and happy reading.